Joining us today on the Everyman podcast is quite honestly my favorite pair of Canadians. They are some talented young musicians from our friends in the North. They are the members of Falset, and they have a new album coming out this week. It's called We Follow or Lead the Way, and it is available on all digital streaming platforms. I've already pre-ordered it. It's going to automatically hit my account. I got it locked and loaded. I've already heard it. It's fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen from Falset, Zach and Chance, how are you, my boys?
We're doing great, man.
Awesome.
Dude.
How are you guys doing?
Dude, I'll tell you what, I'm a little pumped up.
Good.
I'm pumped up. We've been talking about this for a while. And Chance, obviously, my man, you were on the podcast a couple months ago, right as the beginning of these uncertain circumstances. And see, because this podcast is now audio and video, last time you were on was just audio. Now we're on YouTube. So you have to refer to the current situation as these uncertain circumstances or you'll get pulled off of YouTube. So just for that record. So at the beginning of these uncertain circumstances, Chance joined us on the pod. We got to know each other. We talked a little bit about his story and how he got into the band and started up, his whole little thing going on here with Dream Theater, working with them on the road. And so, if you want to take a chance to, how about that? Take a chance. Take a minute to check out, that episode in the archives. So as we were working forward, I hear you guys have a new album coming out. I'm like, bro, we got to get this together when the album's coming out. So tell us, what's the deal, man? What's new with Falset?
Well, we're always busy. We're always, we get together like 3-4 days a week. There's always new stuff up and coming with us and always, little projects we have among ourselves and we're always working really.
Yeah. Right now we're actually today we were working on something special for around Christmas time.
Oh, I love the Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah. Every time Christmas rolls around, it's like 2 days before and we're like, oh, we should have done something. So this time we're like nipping it in the bud early on. So we get that over with and, can have something really cool around Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like a Christmas classic song cover.
Christmas is great, man. Everybody's happy. Everybody's in a good mood.
It's the best time of year.
Oh yeah.
It really is. Last Christmas, actually, our guitar player and I, Braden Cozy, he and I did a little rendition of Carol of the Bells.
Oh, that's a great tune.
So it was pure guitar. There was some shredding going on, some riffage, freaking drop A tuning. It was pretty cool. But we want to do a rendition of a Christmas song this year as a full band with vocals, really just kind of take it and make something cool.
Slamming.
That sounds awesome, man. Now, Zach, and a chance, we're going to get to you in a second, man. We'll save you're just a drummer. We're not really, we don't really talk drummers on this podcast or anything.
I'm used to it.
So Zach, what do you do in the band, man? For our listeners who maybe haven't heard of Falset, this is the first time they're kind of getting a chance to experience you. Tell us about what you do in the band, brother.
Yeah. So basically, I was firsthand a guitar player. We've been going at this for some time now, and I started out playing guitar, and always sang a bit. Like I had some vocal parts in our last few songs, but now I've taken on the full lead vocal role, and it's something new for me, something new for everybody, and we're really digging the new stuff. So I'm happy with the sound, and it sounded pretty good.
Best choice we ever made.
Well,
Nice.
Sometimes sometimes you just got to change your hat, move around a little bit. So Zach, one of the things I want to ask you about, man, and I can kind of relate to this a little bit to a certain extent. So obviously, I'm a drummer. I've had lots of experience in this wonderful industry. And when I was a kid, my father, much like Chance, and I don't know about you, Zach, but my father's a professional musician and he had a successful career and he was always there to kind of I credit a lot of the reason I was further ahead early is because I had somebody who was already there. The same way that, Daryl with his NFL experience, should his baby boy show interest, he's going to have a leg up because DC already understands what it takes to be there, right? So, my dad, I don't think he ever missed a single performance of ours, and he always would be able to give feedback because, and the guys in the band would be like, oh man, that's really cool because they knew he is a serious musician. And, obviously Chance's father, James, is vocalist for Dream Theater. And not only is he just a vocalist, but he's known as one of the most like talented, huge range, just powerful frontmen. And it's like iconic level, memorable vocalist. And I got to imagine it's like a little stressful, like you're coming over, you know, band practice, and you know, he's like, well, you know, maybe you try it, like, and he's like, wow, you know, like just to, like, I could just imagine that being like, you know, in the back of your head. So like, what's that like for you, knowing that like you've got this kind of resource to learn from and pull from? I'm assuming that you do.
Yeah, no, it's great. I had never listened to Dream Theater before I met Chance, but when
how dare you? What were you doing? What were you doing?
What was I doing?
Chance is like,
well, I was playing guitar. I was really playing guitar in my basement 8 hours a day. That's what I was doing.
That's fair.
My dad actually, like, since we're bringing up dads and shit, my dad got me into music, got me into some early grunge stuff. So Pearl Jam, Soundgarden,
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
too, like shit like that, right? And I was like, I want to play guitar. And I remember saying to my dad, I'm like, I want to play guitar. So, you know, sure enough, got a guitar for Christmas, started playing. And after a while, I knew I wanted to be in a band. And I was like, I want to be in a band. I was like probably 10 years old. And I remember my dad saying, if you want to be in a band, you have to be like really, really good at guitar. And that, I'll never forget that, because he said you need to be really good, like better than I even thought I had to be in a band. So that really gave me motivation to like play every day. And I would, you know, I'd lay in bed going over the 7 modes in my head, theory-wise, just over and over and over again. And I practiced for 8 hours a day for probably like 4 or 5 years.
Mm.
And then I met this guy, and that was after the fact. And we started making music together, and it just all followed into place. So it was, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, you know what? Let's say cheers to supportive papas. Yeah, I know my pappy's watching this right now. Cheers.
Thanks, Dad.
Here's to the pops. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. So
Cool.
You know, but just for my own amusement, what's it like having, like, you know, Mr. Golden Pipes be able to give you some feedback? Because when I'm listening to the record, and I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it, you know, it's coming out right around the corner, and you'll be able to click the link in the show notes here to download it and pre-order it. But what's that experience like, knowing that you have that kind of talent around to be able to, hey, help me sing better, maybe?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. He's helped me out a lot, actually. With we went on a tour I think last year, and I was like, hey man, like, do you have any advice for me for going out on the road? Like, I had, you know, and our songs are pretty high, so I was you know, I was kind of worried to go on a tour and play the same songs like 4 or 5 nights in a row. And he was like, you know, giving me some tips and tricks on like how he stays, you know, vocally fit for every single day on the tour or whatever. And I definitely took his advice, because why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, that's exactly that's what I mean.
So, you know, I found myself getting up, going for a little skateboard ride around our neighborhood, wherever we were staying, eating lots of fruit, stuff like that. And I can say firsthand, it definitely made me feel better every single day. Just being healthy, you know, like not eating like shit, and, you know, getting the exercise in, keeping yourself physically fit for every single day.
You know, man,
Sweet.
you nailed it. And Daryl, how often do we talk about this on the Everyman podcast, whether it's, you know, with NFL athletes or professional musicians? I mean, we've even had this conversation with James LaBrie himself. And that's, you know, there's this perception that it's all fun and games and it's not hard work, but, you know, to really have the longevity required to have a successful career in either in sports or entertainment, it's about consistency and being able to do it week after week, year after year, not just like 1 or 2 good shows, but can you go out on the road and can you keep it together for 6 weeks? And, you know, those little things like, you know, getting your rest and, you know, maybe you got to keep your mouth shut for a couple hours just to save your vocal cords and things like that. You know, when I was doing that kind of gigging, you know, I was really careful with my hands and my joints. And, you know, I told this story to John Petrucci. We went bowling right before we recorded our album, and I was like holding a bowling ball like an idiot and it slipped out of my hand and I almost broke my wrist, and like I caught it, and like thank God I caught it. But like just a stupid bullshit messing around can like end your
Damn it.
end your career. So that's it's really good that you have that perspective. And
yeah, no, I definitely think that's important. On that note, actually, I had a few incidents too where I thought my guitar playing career might have been over.
Whoa.
I got a boxer's fracture in my,
Oh,
which is my finger hand, right? And
Are you gonna tell them how you did it?
yeah,
how did you do
Yeah.
that?
Hey, here, we'll back it up. So we were jamming. It was band practice day, and I guess I had cut my nails, right? And one of them started bleeding, and I was playing a solo, and I was just fucking hurting like a motherfucker. And I got super pissed off, put my guitar down, and I punched an office chair, right? Naturally.
oh,
So that office chair fucked me up for 6 months because I had a boxer's fracture, my pinky right here, cast,
Damn.
everything, like hand cast. I couldn't even play guitar.
The hell was the chair made out of?
It was made out
fucking
of
whale tusks.
it was leather with
Leather.
plastic arms. So I
Oh.
hit it wrong, and it totally screwed my hand.
Oh man,
And,
that's
Damn.
You can imagine how worried I was for 6 months.
oh yeah.
I had this cast on,
Damn.
and I'm like, I don't even know if I'll be able to play a G chord after I come out of this. Like I had no idea. But they got the cast off, and it felt weird for like a week or two, but I was lucky. Got back to it, so it wasn't a big problem, but it set us back a little bit. We were planning to play a few shows in that time period, and
Yeah,
I screwed it all up.
they were gonna be like really big basement shows too, like a whole 20 people. So
Right.
Hey man,
unfortunately, we missed those.
you gotta get the reps in.
What'd you do during the downtime, Zach? Were you not playing, or were you just kind of like you said when you were like in the room when you were a kid, just going through the chords in your head, like different modes?
You know what? I had been working on a lot of songs at the time, and I think I kind of took that time when I couldn't play guitar to really focus on like songwriting in general.
Gotcha.
So I would, I had started a few songs, and I had a few things open on my laptop, and I would just dive in, not being able to play guitar, which is my main instrument, but I still was writing, and I was, just kind of doing everything I could without being able to play guitar. So it was good in that way. I feel like maybe that helped me, help my writing skills and stuff. I maybe got,
Sweet.
I had a few different thoughts in my head because I couldn't play guitar. Right. So
Yeah.
might have been.
Do all of you guys like like get together for the writing aspect of it, or is it just you, or Chance, is it you two guys kind of powwow about it, or how does it work?
Usually how it always starts is grab me one too, buddy. Yeah, thanks.
What are you drinking there? Pabst?
We're not proud of it. We're not proud of it, but we're just drinking Bud Lights.
Okay, no, dude, that's good.
Oh, yeah, that's
there's
awesome.
nothing wrong with Bud Light. Good. I
Yeah.
just in my head I was thinking like you guys are Canadian, you gotta be drinking like Labatt Blue or something. But
Or Canadian.
Yeah.
or what? There's just a Canadian.
Molson
Canadian.
Oh, Molson Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Coors and
Molson
Molson.
Triple X. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both Coors and Molson are both owned by Coors.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Sweetness.
Yeah, there's only like 4 companies now left of beer. Like all those little small breweries got bought up by all the big companies. That's what all these microbreweries are hoping for. It's like
Yeah, I think Molson Canadian was like the first brewery in Canada, and it was like in the 17 or 1800s, and then Coors bought them out like 1900s or something like that, and so now it's all American-based.
American-based Canadian beer.
American-based.
God bless America.
Wow.
So tell us more about you guys were talking about the writing process.
Well, every song as of like the past 2 to 3 years starts off with an email from Zach, and it's a demo that's like 90% done. And then from there, I'll write my drums over it. And then from there, we'll all come together, jam it out, and add stuff, change some stuff around, look at the structure of the song, look at what we could maybe change, how we can make it better. And then that's the normal writing process for us.
Yeah.
It used to be like in the early days when we started writing, it was the classic approach where we would all be jamming in the basement.
Yeah.
And all that would come of that is just amateur sounding garbage. So
It was good.
It was okay.
It was great.
It was great.
But this new process,
Amateur sounding garbage.
this new process really allows Zach, our main composer, to just sit down with his own thoughts. And whether it's a day or two or a month, he's able to write a great piece of music and go back and revise it a million times before he presents it to us for us to add our elements to the song.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that the way we have done it and have changed how we're doing it, I think it all works for sure.
Yeah.
But I think like if I have an idea in my head and I just want to like try to put that idea into a song, I definitely like to be in solitude for some of that time. I like to sit down and just get that image that's in my head completely out.
Gotcha.
And from there, we can really take it and pull it apart and work on it as a band. And like, I really love the element of working with these musicians to write and finish a song and do all that and get it all finished and ready to go. I think it's really, it brings another type of like musicianship to the table when we're writing a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, does that like when you have that idea in your head and you need that solitude, is it like, all right, the world's stopping right fucking now, I got to get this thing done before we move on? Or is it like, hey, we kind of process it as it goes along, even though I'm still in solitude on this single idea?
Well, it depends. I mean, yeah, for sure. I think sometimes if I have an idea, I'll probably sit there and walk around and pace listening to something. And I'm trying to like, I'm thinking of this extra element I want to bring to it. And I'm like, okay, no one talk to me for like at least the next 4 hours. Let me just work. And then
He's serious. Like,
yeah, no, I'm serious. And then
Serious.
Oh, no, not you, Siri.
Oh,
Stay out.
serious.
that's
Serious.
awesome.
But yeah, other times, it'll take, sometimes I'll be trying to get a sound out and it just won't, it's not happening, right? So then I go out and get a beer with this guy, revisit it the next day, and then stuff starts coming out again. So yeah.
Yeah, usually right after I buy him a couple beers, it comes back to him.
Yeah.
It does.
That's
Well,
cool.
I think when you're young and you're first starting out, being in a band and it's funny. Like I kind of, I don't know, it sound in a weird way, but like I look at what you guys are doing, and I was thinking today in the car when I was listening to the record, how much it kind of reminded me of like where I was when I was your age, and like just how exciting it all is, and how great it is to be with your brothers with a common goal and a common creative energy, and then getting to perform that art together with your brothers. Like it's like Daryl relates to that so much with football. It's the same thing. And it's why those of us that have these callings, whether it be professional football or, music at this level, not just like a listener, but you need to be the music. It makes you want to really, be a part of it and dive into it. And it just reminded me of that, seeing you guys and what you're doing right now, getting ready for the album to come out. And I think it's the thing about songwriting in my experience is that it's just like any other aspect of your performance. It takes reps and effort and years and practice and shitty songs and shitty songs and shitty songs and shitty songs. And then you write a really good one. And then you're like, oh, now how did I do that? And it's the same exercise as, Chance working on double bass, right? Or blast beats or becoming, kind of ambidextrous as a player. I got to a certain point where I was like, you know what? I have 2 drum kits. I'm setting one up left-handed, and I'm going to just play left-handed. And I'm going to focus on playing completely left-handed in my off. Like I still have my practice time, but I was like, I'm going to spend an hour of this practice time just playing left-handed. And that built up a muscle of like one brain, same way with songwriting. You know, you exercise that muscle, and you know what, whereas now you might need to go step away for 4 hours. In 10 years, if you keep it up, man, you know, you'll just be like, let me go write this. You know, I was listening to a podcast with another great Canadian, what's his name? Mike Kroger from Nickelback, Chad's brother. And he was talking about how they were in the studio, and then like Chad, they needed lyrics. They needed one more song, you know, and Chad was like, hang on, I'll be right back. And he went into his car and in 20 minutes wrote that song Animals. Like he wrote the lyrics to Animals, and they were the same lyrics in the car that they are on the album. And they only did 2 takes of the record. And then that song became this massive hit. And just like, my point is, it was probably hard for him the first time he wrote that big hit. But then like when you've been doing it for 20 years, you're like, I'll be in the car for 20 minutes. I'll be right back. Boom. Here you go. You know, and it's like, to us, we're still like, what the fuck? How did you do that? You know? It's a journey, you know, and the songwriting is the hardest part.
Can I talk about one thing though, real quick? Because am I able to talk about like the tracks and stuff before it?
Oh, please.
Comes out? I'm good. All right. So check it out. So track 7, Dear Heaven, Dear Hell, like I love, that's like my favorite track. And then the writing specifically, because I'm really big on the words, and like if something hits me, I just kind of lose my shit and I'm like playing it for like hours straight. So like the part where it says standing on the front lines, if I go in and it's suicide, and then the like fucking music drops, and it's like, I'm not afraid to die. And like, dude, like that fucking moment hit me, and like I've been playing it nonstop all day here at NFL Films. Like the producer next door is probably like losing his mind, losing his shit. Like why is he playing that same song like 4 hours straight today? But like, can you tell me like what went into the creative process with just that? Because like that's awesome.
You know what? I think that that song, at the time I was obviously feeling pretty fearless.
Oh yeah.
And you know, like my life in general has been music for so long, and I think that you know, I came to a point where I was just so fearless to do anything like for our band and for my endeavor on music in general. Just like, you know, it's basically a statement saying,
oh yeah,
I'm not fearless, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But you can kind of, you know, a lot of the lyrics on the album, you can take them how you want them type thing. They're a lot of the time they're vague, and you can kind of paste the lyrics onto your own lifestyle or whatever, right? So it's kind of however you want to look at it. But for me, yeah, for sure, that song, the lyrics are just about being fearless.
Yeah, that shit, when it hit me, that was like I'm all in, I'm kicking the door down, like I'm going to fuck shit up type.
Yeah,
I loved it.
No turning back, you know. Just fucking,
oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know, man.
That line's really empowering for sure. It hits hard.
Oh, big time. It like chills my spine. Everything's all. I love it.
I'm glad you like it, man.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, it like that like. So like I got all these like shirts in my like. I probably shouldn't have all these shirts in my office, honestly. But like I like listen to that, and I went and grabbed this fucking One Punch Man shirt, like right here. And now like I was walking around, walking around all day, like, okay, well, if you guys fucking say anything to me, it's over. Like I'm going. Like, that's kind of like what it's been like for me today after listening to that. So yeah, that's it, man.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah, it's you know, I was telling you guys before we got on, you know, I really like it. It sounds modern. It sounds contemporary. It's familiar in that it doesn't sound like it's trying to be anything it's not. Like it seems authentic, you know, and it's sometimes you can hear when somebody's, especially you, Zach, the vocals, when somebody's really straining and they're like exposing their limits, but they're still trying, that comes through, and you're able to perform in that register and in that space consistently through a whole record where you're not like, ooh, I've had enough of this, you know, and that's a hard achievement, you know, with when it comes to vocal performances. And that's just, you know, that's my opinion on it, but I think it's fantastic. And it's if you know, our listeners that, you know, we've had some of the best progressive metal musicians on this show, you know, all the Dream Theater guys, Between the Buried and Me guys, the guys Mark Holcomb and Matt Halpern from Periphery, and, you know, dudes like Andy McKee. And if speaking to the everyman audience out there in the Cosmic Canoe, if you like that kind of music, you're absolutely going to love this Falset record. And, you know, we don't just dole out like, oh, check this out. Like, we want you on the show because we really like you guys, and we like your music. And it's a great record, and I'm really excited for everybody to hear it. And I think it's going to be hot for real. So that's, you know, that's the everyman stamp of approval right there, isn't it, big bro?
Here's my take, and this is how I like judge all the albums that like fucking go on repeat. If it's like, especially with just like metal and rock, like if it at the core of it, if it's like when I like eat fucking like, how can I put it? Like lemon meringue or something, it just gets me like right fucking here, or it's like right in the back, and like you just get that thing and you want to like headbang and like hurt yourself. And then also if it's just brutal and fucking beautiful at the same time, I'm all for it. I'm sold. Like, you don't even, I will listen to like one track for 12 fucking hours before I go to the next track and listen to that one for 12 fucking hours, just so I can really like dive in. And that's what this album is like to me. Like, dude, it's I'm all in on it. All in on it. I love it.
Thanks, man.
Boys, thank you so much. You guys have always been so kind to us, and
Man, come on.
you guys enough.
No doubt, dude. No doubt. And I'll tell you what, I'm excited to, you know, once all these uncertain circumstances are over, I'm excited to see you guys on the road, because that's certainly something we're gonna.
Right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be all right. I think some things are gonna happen and things will get better, and, you know, we'll see. Cheers to that.
Dude.
But
Yeah.
so I want to talk to you guys about influences and kind of spread our wings here a little bit. So, Chance, I've been kind of, you know, been putting the spotlight here on your man Zach. So Chance, what are some of your musical influences, like as a drummer, you know?
I find like everyone has their influences that will be their go-to that they say for the rest of their life. Those people that influenced them when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's always been like, for this year, this is who is influencing me right now. And then next year it'll be a completely different set of drummers or bands or artists. But right now, who's influencing me a lot is Nick Peterson from North Lane.
Great band.
I've also been deep diving into Chris Turner from Ocean's 8, Alaska. That guy literally blows my mind. I cannot. He's not human. He's
not.
He's proof that aliens are real. Luke Holland is one of those guys.
Oh my God, he annoys the shit out. It's like you like, the thing I love. Okay, let me say this: Luke Holland is phenomenal. Okay,
yes,
one of the best drummers walking. But what drives me like nuts, and really it's just jealousy, is it's like, how can you be like tall, good-looking dude, cool, the best drummer on the planet, have the respect of guys like Thomas Lang and Matt Halpern, like clinicians, like technical gods, and also be in a band that plays in front of fucking 50,000 people? How is that possible? Like,
I thought you were talking about me until you said the 50,000.
Yeah. The tall, handsome, good-looking. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yep. Yeah, I was. Yeah, just until that last 50,000 part. But you know what I mean? Like,
no, that he's a beauty.
He's a beauty.
I was able to have dinner with him and Jason Richardson with my dad one night, and he's one of the nicest guys ever. And he's so humble.
Sweet.
Like, he's done so well for himself.
Sweet.
So humble about it all.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal drummer. Glad you brought him up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same way though, man. I get it. Like, you go through phases. Like, the last kind of year and a half, I've just been like in awe of Danny Carey. You know.
Yeah.
Like, I got a chance to see Tool live this time last year. Actually, talked to your dad about it for 20 minutes. On the podcast, we were just talking about how great Tool was. But yeah, he's one of those guys where you watch what he's doing, you're like, how the fuck did you come up with that, man? Like, what are you doing over there? I need some of it.
Also, another artist or band that's really been influencing me lately, is Bring Me the Horizon, because I know they get a lot of hate for the direction they're going, but I really admire them for having, you know, they're not insecure about who they are as songwriters at all, and they don't care about what you think. They're just doing what they want to do. And I really admire that about them, and I think their songs are amazing. They're
Nice.
writing good song after good song after good song, and that's what all music comes down to, is the song. So
Yep. You know, they're one of those bands that I never went out of my way to see, but I ended up seeing them like 3 or 4 times. Like they were just on. I used to, when I was a kid, man, I would going to concerts, like 3 concerts a weekend sometimes, and they were like always on the bill of somebody else that I was going to see, and I was always so impressed with, like, it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea at the time, but they were always great live. So I'll have to check out some of that new stuff. But I've never understood why people get upset when a band progresses and then brings in a new audience or changes kind of direction, you know. I mean, especially in like the progressive metal, progressive space. Like you look at Between the Buried and Me, you know, is one for sure where people are like, oh, why don't you do this anymore, you know, and or like Mastodon, you know, Gojira, even now they're starting to get that. But it's like, what, you think these guys are going to be angry in 26 forever, you know?
Yeah,
Like eventually they're going to have to start writing songs about something else. It's hard.
Sure, man,
it's
for
just,
sure.
you got to ask everyone, like, what do you want these bands to do? Write the same song over and over again?
Oh,
Yes.
Because like there's actually no winning. Like if you write the same song over and over again, people will be like, oh, they write the same song. But if you change it up, they'll be like, oh, I want the original sound back, you know?
Yep.
You can't win.
All right. So Zach, what are your influences, man? Currently, maybe all time. Like, who's your favorite guitarist of all time? And then what's getting you kind of hot now?
Well, you know what? The first influence musically like I ever had was probably Pearl Jam. So early grunge, vocalist Eddie Vedder. He that guy, man, he really made me want to get into music in the first place. So I've seen Pearl Jam, I think, once or twice, and it was such a great experience. I was super young too, and it was awesome. And that's definitely what made me want to get into music in the first place. And it's hard. Like I've listened to so much music too, and it's hard to say exactly what my influences are, but I know that I've always loved grunge, and you know, a lot of newer stuff too is really great. Like Chance was saying, like Bring Me the Horizon and newer bands like Asking Alexandria and stuff like that. Like
that's one that got a lot of heat for kind of becoming successful.
Yeah, for sure. But I think you know, over the past like 10 years, I've seen how the industry and how the music has changed as well. And I just turned 21 this year, so I kind of have seen all of that happen in the past 10 years in my adolescence. And I've kind of just taken it all in, and my influences vary from genre to genre as well. I mean, I love classic rock, I love hair metal, I love heavy metal, I love fucking death metal, post-hardcore, alternative rock, pop. You can catch me cooking some dinner to some smooth jazz.
You ever get into any yacht rock?
What's that?
Little yacht rock?
Yacht rock.
Yeah, yacht rock, like music white people listen to on boats.
Oh, with Craig.
Yeah. Whenever we're on a yacht, it's with our buddy Craig, and he's like this Rastafarian dude with long dreads. So it's always like Jamaican vibes with him. You
gotta love that, man. That seems like I can listen to probably 45 minutes straight of reggae music.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like vacationing, you know what I mean? Like I've got to be like having a barbecue or something. I can't just throw on like, all right, I'm gonna listen to reggae all day. You know, it's just not my vibe.
Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of genres for me. Like metal is my go-to because I can enjoy it pretty much almost all the time. But every other thing like smooth jazz I love, and pop and all these other genres I'm really into, but I need to be in the mood to turn it on.
Yeah.
Or else I won't enjoy it.
Yeah. For me, it's cooking. I don't know what it is. I just cook better when there's smooth jazz in the air.
Oh yeah.
And
I have to. I love having music on when I'm cooking or getting like. I'm a big barbecue guy.
Oh,
I'm always
dude.
Chance knows. He sees my BBQ vids. I'm always smoking, and I got the Bluetooth on. I'm fucking.
Dude, my dad's
Lemon Toto.
completely gotten into that like so
You got a
much.
smoker?
He's got a Traeger and,
Oh yeah.
and a Big Papa smoker, and he fucking
Ooh,
He's a
loves
smoke man now, huh?
going in.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I mean, like every weekend, I'm like doing a pork butt or a brisket or a couple racks of ribs, and you know, Daryl comes over.
That animal heaven, man.
his dad ruined meat for me actually because it's just
Oh yeah.
not good. Like I can't
Eat it
have
without being
that meat
smoked.
unless I'm having dinner with him.
Can't find a better smoked chuck burger in town.
No, did you ever listen to Guthrie Govan?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man,
Great.
That guy, man. His one album, Erotic Cakes. It's
Erotic
dude,
cheeks.
they always have cool like fucking names
Erotic
like
cheeks.
that. Like
erotic-
only jazz albums have shit like that. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's awesome though, man. It's like my go-to when I'm like throwing together something for dinner. I'm like, okay, this is gonna take an hour to make, so I'm throwing on some freaking smooth jazz, get me in the mood, you know.
Oh yeah,
I
dude,
love it.
cooking. Like, what do you cook?
Dude, I've been actually trying to get more and more into cooking in the past couple years, but
Yeah,
I've cooked a lot of stuff. I actually have cooked some pretty good steaks. in my
Sweet.
opinion. On that note, I went to the Keg actually like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I can make that steak.
nice.
I'm like, what? You know what I
We're
mean?
at the point now where we can do better than the Keg. So
Yeah.
we're getting there.
That's
That's
good.
cool.
You gotta
That's
work
cool.
your way up. You gotta work your way up. It's
Yeah.
a journey. It's a journey, fellas.
Yeah, man. But no, I love cooking lately. I'm trying to get more and more into it, but you know, just growing some peppers in my backyard actually.
Sweet, dude.
Oh, you're going full service.
Fresh, bro.
I enjoy it. I forget about life and I forget about everything that's going on, and I just dive in.
Look at Chance. Chance is like,
Believe it,
Dude,
man.
it's
I've
great.
never seen you cook.
I was a cook at that Irish.
Actually,
place.
hey, yeah, no, actually, every time the band's together at like a hotel or in the studio, he whips up the best breakfast ever.
I do,
That
and
is-
oh, I was just about to ask you, are you a breakfast guy? Like, what's your breakfast meal? What are you good at? French
No
toast?
no
Like,
breakfast.
no What?
Oh man.
I love
breakfast.
breakfast, Daryl. I love it.
But let me just say, because I got a different take on this. Breakfast. This is to the everyman specifically. I know we always talk to the everyman and the every woman, but there is not a more important skill for the young everyman to appear more impressive than you actually are to a young lady than to be able to cook above average breakfast. Like if you can, you can not like anyone can cook a shitty egg.
Oh,
You can fucking just put 3 hours of effort
Bro.
into reading some Gordon Ramsay about how to really do it like eggs properly. And then maybe someday you got some lady who slept over, you had the good Friday night. Now you're trying to take it to the next level. And you're like, you know what? Let me make you some breakfast. And then you nail the breakfast.
and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and then
Right.
the
I'm
cherry
telling
on
you,
top.
listen, I'm telling you, this is how, you know, I woo my fiance with eggs.
Oh,
Tail, man. That's how you do it.
and
It's
How you do it, man?
Well, and
It's
That's how you
vital.
do it, bro.
cherry. I'm gonna tell you guys, the cherry on top is when you bring them a cappuccino right next to the breakfast.
you
Oh,
can do it, man.
Up with almond milk.
Chance, I know you pulling. I know you over there pulling them. I know you are.
It's the
I
beanie.
know you
It's the
are.
beanie.
He's the
Dude, it's the beard, bro. That's what it is. That fucking
Beard, I
beard.
got
bro.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jeff, by the way, nice beard, man.
Hell yeah.
Oh
dude.
yeah, there's a couple good beards on this one. Yeah, I gotta I don't know what I'm doing with this. I don't know if I'm gonna leave it. Keep
You
it
don't have to
going,
have
or
a plan with a beard. That's the cool thing about it. Like, you just don't even have to have a plan.
Was it that long last time?
what? No, I let it go during the uncertain circumstances when I was off from work, and then I came back like a normal human, and then I just decided in August I wasn't gonna shave anymore or trim my beard, and this is what I've got. And then we had John Petrucci on the Everyman podcast a few weeks ago talking about his new record, and he said something that really stuck in my head and it's kind of freaked me out. He was like, you know, don't make it look like it's an accident. Like he wasn't saying it to me, but he was just like in general, like if you're gonna grow a beard out, like be intentional with it. Now I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
now I'm like, oh,
Not the best.
John might be looking. Yeah.
man.
What's that?
He's got the best inspirational beard lines ever.
Oh,
Dude,
dude.
he's got
Oh,
Like,
dude.
he looks like an accident. Own it.
Yeah, that's it.
right. He's got a lot of good quotes on beard care, and I just saw he announced he's got some beard things. So now that's why I'm kind of thinking like, well, I kind of want to get the John Petrucci beard shit, so I'm probably gonna just wait and then beard
He should
that.
drop a beard kick.
He did. He did.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, that's what I said. And he goes, yeah, well, good idea.
There
Why are you
it
doing
is.
it? Oh, man.
Oh.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, dude, cooking eggs is important for the everyman.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
It's a good, we're talking about flexing muscles. Yeah, cappuccinos.
Yeah.
Got to get it there.
Yeah, I mean these are things that the young everyman and who knows, the young every woman might want to know how to really ensnare that.
Lady.
I think that cooking is like just as heartfelt in art form as music is.
Oh yeah,
There it is.
I think that it can be taken as
Look at Chance.
Chance is gonna mock
I'm gonna
you
tear
later.
up. Dude.
like no, seriously, you can cook a sad meal.
Yeah.
You can.
You can. You can
What do you
do
guys
that.
think is a sad meal, Daryl? What do you think would be a
Bro,
sad
I'll
meal?
tell you what a sad meal is, and I'm gonna say this because I used to be a host at IHOP, so I know what the fuck sad meals look like, bro.
Dude, when
Listen.
did you work at IHOP?
Bro, when you're in fucking college, you don't make any money as an athlete, bro. Like you get like, listen, I'm gonna
I
be
can't
honest with
imagine
you,
walking into an
bro.
IHOP like all
Dude,
hammered, and
there
seeing a guy your size at the front.
Dude, I was taking 7 credit hours during the summer because I wanted to graduate in 3 years from engineering, right? But like outside of them paying for like room and board, like you're broke as shit in college, bro. So like I can't take a chick to the movies that don't got any fucking money, man. You know what I mean? So like, dude, I wore the pancakes. Dude, I worked my way up at IHOP too. Dude, I used to wear the pancake suit, like the outfit, like back in the day, like used to have a big ass fucking like pancake out there with long socks, like fucking ushering people in to like, I worked my way up from that to host. And let me tell you what, it's fucking hard as hell to fold those napkins with the fucking silverware in there for every fucking like dude. And also so sad. So back to the whole thing, sad breakfast, sad meal, like vive la French toast, soggy as shit, too much butter, and like bacon that's just like bent over the side of the plate that looks like it needs a fucking self-help video.
Yeah.
That's a sad meal. That's a sad meal, big time. I'm telling you.
That's gold.
That's making me sad. Jesus.
Bro, another thing too is like you talk about cappuccino and eggs and shit like that. Like it's all about presentation, right? Right. So if presentation is the thing, if you like don't fucking put enough parsley to like kind of spruce up the shit a little bit, that's a sad fucking meal. Here's another thing too. You got to go all in. Chance, you know this. Zach, you know this. You got to fucking go all in with everything you do. If we're talking about its relationship to music, you guys go fucking all in. Number 7, you went all in on Dear Heaven, Dear Hell. Dear Hell, you all went all in. Fucking Smoking Mirrors, number 10 on the album, you went all in. Dude, you cannot not go all in on a fucking meal. Otherwise, it's just bogus, man. Why even fucking do it?
Why even start the meal in the first place if you're not gonna
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Dude, if you're going to do it for chicks to like pull tail, you got to go all in so you can pull the tail.
Yeah, man.
Cappuccino.
Send it. I'll tell you. And I can relate, dude, because there's like an element of like, I love hosting barbecues here at our home because like, one, I just love this. I love my smoker and I love feeding the people that I love. I wouldn't want to go work in a restaurant. I probably could if I like had to, I guess. But like, there's a performative aspect of like having people over, getting a bunch of things together. You're planning, you're putting materials together. And like I said to my fiance one day, like the thing I really like to do is assemble things. Like whether it's a band and like managing, like you do this, we put this song together and here's the plan and we go do this, or just project management in my professional career, or putting like salt, pepper, brown sugar, you know what I mean? Like putting those things together, heat, time, temperature equals brisket. Like there's like a performance going on there. And it is very, I do get what you're saying. Like there's something similar. And like, that's how like a lot of my hobbies are connected, is like, it's all these things where I'm taking a bunch of shit and putting it together and then doing something with it.
That's art.
Hell yeah, bro.
Food is definitely art.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
Unless you're like, what do they call the Subway sandwich artists? They have Subway up in Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Exclusively.
Did you know that Subway has the most chains out of any chain in the world?
Yeah, they're like the world's largest
What?
restaurant. Yeah, it's
Love it.
kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, man.
We got 3 here in town, I think.
Yeah, 3 in town.
Wow,
Nice.
Midland's got 3 Subways.
Of 17,000 people. Like, we don't need that many Subways.
Well, there's
Yeah.
probably a calculation like every 8,000 people you've got to have.
It's so dumb. We have like 5 Tim Hortons, 3 Subways, and not 1 Starbucks.
What?
So what's the deal with Tim Hortons?
That's a tragedy, bro.
Is it all it's cracked up to be? Like you guys
I'm
like
sorry.
super hyped on that?
I'm sorry if
I'm
I
so
should.
glad we agree on this. 'cause
If I shouldn't say this or not, but Tim Hortons sucks.
It's the
Really?
worst.
They suck.
They are the
worst.
most inconsistent
Like,
chain ever.
you know what I say?
I went to get their brand new roast beef sandwich yesterday. They're like, sorry, we're out of the crispy onions. I'm like, no worries, give it to me. It was okay. Then today I went to a different Tim Hortons. I grabbed the roast beef sandwich again. They don't even tell me this time. No crispy onions. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh,
Like, what are you doing?
wow. They didn't put it in? Like, they just fucking didn't put it in?
And I'm
That's ass, bro.
Peak of the iceberg. These guys have never performed. Whether it's the napkins they forget or the ratios they're screwing up the drinks, I cannot go off enough about these guys.
Listen.
And we need to implement Tim Hortons.
They
We
barely
need to shut them
ever
down.
have anything that if you had something in your head and you're like, I want to get this from Tim Hortons, you pull up, they don't have it.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
no.
And you know
Oh,
now,
oh,
you know
no.
what I do now? Every time I pull up to a Tim Hortons drive-thru, I say, hey, how's it going? What do you have?
Yeah, he's a dick.
Because they don't have. It's easier for them to list off the things they do have for you to ask like 20 different questions and for them to say, sorry, we don't have that. Sorry, our ice machine's down. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
We got no ice.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking horrible, man.
That's like trying to get a sundae at McDonald's.
I hate to talk badly about a Canadian company, but they're not even owned by the family.
Yeah, doesn't like Burger King
Oh.
own them now, I think?
Yeah,
The same company that owns Burger King owns Tim Hortons.
Yeah,
or something
Yum or
like
whatever.
that.
Wow, I'll tell you what. Next time the Falset boys come on the pod, we're just gonna have to do 45 minutes on Tim Hortons and their inconsistencies. This is unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you what. If Burger King owns them and they're...
I was actually thinking about making a documentary on how bad Tim Hortons is today. Like,
Oh,
it's funny we're talking about this.
Listen,
If I ever had the money that like Bill Gates does, my first mission would be to replace every Tim Hortons in Canada with a Starbucks.
there you go.
dude,
There you go.
that's good. Yeah, but you know, Starbucks food is garbage.
Yeah, this food is garbage, but
Yeah, but you know what you're getting with Starbucks, though. Like, you're not...
Yeah, but it's still $14. Yeah, you're gonna get a homeless guy doing something unseemly in the bathroom and a $14 pita sandwich. That's the Starbucks special right there, allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, that's nothing worse than like having a hankering for a fast food item and getting there and they've got nothing for it. It's like Daryl's been trying to get the Wendy's breakfast. I've been telling him how great this shit is.
Dude, I'm
can't
sitting
get it.
out here. They still don't have breakfast at Wendy's here. And I've seen commercials already.
So
That's
good.
fucking Bush League, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
yeah. Boys, I'll be right back.
Should be illegal.
Should be. It really
False
should.
advertising of it. So Zach, I'll tell you what, man. I think you are a bright and talented individual, and I think you got a good head on your shoulders towards what you're doing and your goals and perspective on music. So what's your kind of your practice routine now, like to keep your vocals where they need to be?
Well, I'm always writing too, right? So my practice routine kind of falls into my writing because it takes up like almost all my time when I'm not with these guys. But I also do teach guitar lessons right now too. So I'm teaching a lot of guitar, writing a lot of songs, and also working on the band with these guys like 3 or 4 days a week. So my vocal practice is really integrated into that entire system. I'm always like, I have a booth at my house and I'm always recording vocals and trying new things and stuff. But if there was a plan to have a tour or something, I would probably up the ante and be practicing the set. But for right now, I don't see the point in practicing our entire album every day or even a few times a week if I'm always singing and writing songs and stuff like that. So
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it.
yeah, I don't want to overdo it because I also some of the new stuff I'm writing is there's a lot more vocal technique going on. So I'm working on a few really cool vocal things, and really happy with how it's turning out so far.
Sweet.
So,
Is there any vocalists that you kind of look at as like inspirations to you specifically, or that you kind of want to work towards?
100%. I think Eddie Vedder. That's like my guy, man. That's always been an inspiration to me. And like what Daryl was saying earlier, how you take something in and you listen to it for 12 hours straight before you move on to the next. I think I've always appreciated his vocal style and performance, and his whole take on live performance and stuff like that. And I really strive for that. I think that's something I really, really dig, and I've stuck with that. I don't change it up as much as people would think, but yeah, if I had to pick one.
Sweet.
That's cool, man. It's not something I would immediately suspect after listening to your vocals. It's sometimes you get inspiration from a lot of different places.
Yeah, man.
Like I wouldn't have imagined that either when like I hear Zach's vocals and then he tells me what he was influenced by. I'm like, what? Like that doesn't make much sense. But then I listen to
I'm a big Beyonce fan. Yeah.
Yeah, songwriting element. So like when he tells me his like influences and then I listen to his songs, that's when I hear more of it for sure.
Nice.
Look at that pour, and he's a
Look at
talented.
Look
He's
at
a talented barista as well.
Oh yeah,
Look at that. That's a nice. Yeah, actually, it kind of got
Great awareness.
sideways on you.
love it.
Started good, got cocky.
Yeah, he's the bartender. So
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
I usually
Oh,
let him pour my beers for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a bartender briefly as well.
Really?
yeah.
How'd that work out for you? A lot of tips.
Well, we were working at the same place, and we used to have these private parties for firefighters and companies and groups or whatever.
Oh.
And they used to come in, and everything was like drink tickets, right? So it was like drink ticket, grab a beer, drink ticket, grab a vodka soda, whatever.
Shout out to Andre Sanche and Ciboulette AC.
Yes.
Best restaurant in the world. Seriously. They're
And
closed now. They went bankrupt, but
Oh, man, that
definitely best guys ever, best owner I've ever worked with, and best restaurant ever. It was like a little boutique cafe sort of dinner
yeah.
restaurant, but it was like all craft beers from like Ontario breweries, and it was all really good food, all local based, and promote local was their slogan, and
Yep.
it was just a really cool spot.
What was really cool about that place too? Not a single TV.
Not one.
Ah, yeah. That
Wow.
is cool.
Like,
Yeah.
You actually have to talk to each other.
It was like, yo, let's have a conversation.
That's great, man.
Nice.
So as we wind down here, guys, I got one last question I want to ask you. So, what is the most Canadian thing about you guys? What do you think that the world would think is the most Canadian thing about you?
Yeah.
Most Canadian thing. We say sorry.
I did hear that earlier. It made me smile inside and out.
I'm the worst for it too. Like I say it more than my Canadian friends say it. Like I'm not trying to be a nice guy. It just pops out sometimes.
Yeah, it's almost
I'm
like
like sorry. No, I'm not. Like I'm not. Sorry.
Fuck you. I'm not sorry.
And then I'm like, I say sorry for saying that.
yeah.
Terrible.
No, it's funny. A lot.
So that's a real thing, huh?
And everybody does it without even blinking an eye. Like it's, if you're holding the door open for somebody, that's Canadian. You're doing it right if you're holding the door open for somebody, or like a crowd of people, and you're just like, yeah, go ahead, and you're like in your head, you're like, fuck you, but like I'm Canadian, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue holding it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Chivalry.
That's
Love it.
for real, Justin. Besides that, like, there's little like Canadian things we do every once in a while that we can like point out about each other. But honestly, besides us all being from Canada, there's nothing about Falset that really yells Canada.
I know, and like the music, it doesn't make a difference.
I think that's true for almost everything Canadian, because our societies and culture are so similar to the States, and our ways of life are so similar.
Yep.
This whole Western side of the world, we all live very similarly. So when we produce art, there's not much different. There's not different qualities to it really, unless you're full on like out trying to sound Canadian, then you don't really hear it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, listen, Jim Carrey, Nickelback, Pamela Anderson, Shania Twain. Come on.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Just
Okay.
saying. A couple of good exports. Not bad.
Yeah. Hey man, we're both proud to be Canadian for sure.
That's
Hell yeah.
awesome, man.
We
That's
love
awesome.
it here. It's a great place to live.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it. So, fellas, what's the best way to keep up with you guys individually? What's the best way to keep up with the band? Give me all the plugs. Feed me.
Well,
Follow us on social media:
at Falset Co.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
YouTube,
YouTube,
Spotify,
TikTok, everything.
Apple Music.
We got it all.
But
Mhm.
we really want to thank you guys for having us on here. Like, it's always a blast talking to you guys, and you guys have always been so kind to us. So first and foremost, thank you to you guys.
Oh, man.
Thank
It's our
you.
pleasure. It's our pleasure. We're big fans of you guys as people. Zach, it's been great getting to know you, man. I consider you a bro now. And, Chance, obviously, man, you're my bro. And Daryl, the biggest bro of all. We're all
Every
in the Cosmic
man
Canoe
up,
together.
bro. We're all
And,
bros.
Freaking Daryl.
That's right. And we truly love the record. All those links, all that social media, it's going to be in the show notes. So scroll up if you're listening on the podcast app. If you're in the YouTube, look at how handsome we all are. Click the links below. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, hit the little bell. You slam that like, I think that's what they do. Slam the bell and finger the like. Do all that stuff. Chance, Zach, thank you guys for being here. Wish you the best. And new music right around the corner.
Hell yeah.
Friday.
Oh yeah, man.
All right, boys. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
Thanks, boys.
Good talking to you, eh?
Hey.
Boys.
Cheers.
Thank you.